A dark shape moved across the stars, silent and cold. It was a huge alien mothership, black like the night, floating slowly toward Earth. It made no sound. It sent no warning. The aliens inside the ship were from a powerful empire, far away from this part of space. They had taken many planets before. For them, Earth was just another weak world with no space army, no force fields, no real weapons to fight back. They didn't understand humans. They didn't care. All they saw was a planet full of soft, unarmed life. So they decided to attack without saying a word. No lights in the sky, no lasers, just silence. The ship stopped just outside Earth's orbit and sent a small team of scouts down to the planet. Their job was to study human defenses and begin the invasion quietly. The scouts landed in a quiet forest, far from any big city. They wore armor that could not be seen with the human eye. They'd moved through the trees without sound. Their translator devices were ready to understand any human language. The leader of the scout team was called Siren. He had studied the files about Earth. They fight among themselves, he said to his team. They have no unity, no advanced tech. This will be easy. The other scouts agreed. They were trained for war, for real enemies with real weapons. Earth looked like a broken place full of noise, chaos, and weak leadership. They walked toward a small town nearby, hidden from human sight. As they moved closer, they passed a playground where children laughed and played. The aliens paused. "They are not scared," one of them said. "They do not know we are here," Ziran replied. "They cannot see us, but they will soon feel us." The scouts entered the town after sunset. The streets were quiet. Lights glowed inside homes. People were eating, watching television, or sleeping. Everything seemed peaceful. Too peaceful. The aliens chose one house at the edge of town. It was small, with a front porch and a garden full of flowers. They entered through the back, invisible, and walked through the kitchen. The room smelled of fresh food. A small dog barked, but the aliens pressed a button that made it sleep instantly. They moved to the living room. Books were stacked on the table. Pictures of soldiers in uniforms were hung on the wall. A chessboard sat in the corner, mid-game. Something felt strange. These humans were not afraid. They did not act like they were being watched. But one thing caught the scouts' attention. A shelf filled with old war movies, history books, and stories of human battles. One of the aliens picked up a book titled "Survive at All Costs." He opened it and read a few lines. His hands began to shake. They write about war like it is normal," he whispered. "They enjoy it?" Ziran frowned. "No, they hate war, but they never run from it." Another alien turned on the television. A movie played. Soldiers ran through a burning field. One man screamed as he carried another on his back. Bombs fell. Guns fired. And yet, in the end, the humans did not fall. The scout watching the screen blinked. "Why do they not give up?" he asked. "This makes no sense. They should have died. They were outnumbered." Ziran did not answer. He turned into the hallway. There was a sound. A soft step. A quiet breath. The aliens raised their weapons. A figure stepped into view. It was an old man, standing calmly, holding nothing but a cup of tea. His eyes were sharp. His voice was calm. He said one thing. "You picked the wrong planet." Inside the mothership, the alien commander paced back and forth. Hours had passed, and there was still no message from the scout team. He ordered a second team to search for them. But deep inside, something didn't feel right. Earth had no defense satellites, no space fighters, not even a warning system for alien threats. Still, the first team had disappeared without a trace. That was not normal. The second team landed near the same area and began their search. What they found was strange. No sign of battle, no blood, no destroyed tech. It was like the first team had simply vanished. But they found something else. A camera. A human camera, still recording. They played the video. It showed the inside of a house. the scout team entering. Then, darkness, strange images, human history, war, pain, survival. The video ended with one final message. Welcome to Earth. The alien commander, now angry and confused, ordered a full scan of the planet. He wanted to know what kind of world this really was. They captured a group of humans from different parts of Earth. A farmer, a teacher, a teenager, and an old woman. They brought them to a secret lab to study. But the humans didn't act afraid. They didn't cry or scream. They just looked the aliens in the eye and smiled. The teenager even joked, "You guys are worse than school." The aliens ran tests. They showed the humans weapons, holograms of war, and images of destroyed planets. But the humans just laughed. "Is that all?" the old woman asked. "We've seen worse." One alien scientist grew nervous. He began studying Earth's past more deeply. He read human books, watched documentaries, and studied war footage. He saw stories of soldiers charging without fear, of doctors saving lives under fire, of children surviving bombings, of people rebuilding after every disaster. The more he learned, the more afraid he became. "They should not be alive," he whispered. "No species should go through this much pain and still smile." The commander didn't listen. "They are weak," he shouted. "No force fields, no space guns. We will crush them." But the scientist warned him, "You don't understand. Their strength is not in their weapons. Their strength is in who they are." The captured humans were placed in holding rooms, but one night, the cameras went black. Guards found the rooms empty. A message was scratched on the wall. "We don't need high tech. We just need each other." Somewhere on Earth, a young soldier looked up at the sky and whispered, "Let them come." The war had not started with explosions. It started with silence. But now, something ancient inside humanity had awakened. And the aliens were about to see the truth. Earth was never defenseless. It was just waiting. The alien empire had never faced anything like this. They expected humans to panic, to run and hide, but instead, something strange was happening. Across the planet, people began to move in silence. No military orders, no government command, just people acting together. In a small town, teenagers flew toy drones over the forest. But these drones had cameras, wires, and homemade tricks. They found alien scouts and led them into electric traps. In a city far away, old farmers and hunters built fences using scrap metal and car batteries. One alien patrol walked into a barn and never came out. In a quiet college dorm, 3 students used their laptops to find signals coming from the sky. They broke into the alien system without warning. The aliens didn't understand how. Their computers were supposed to be unbreakable. But Earth had hackers, and hackers had no fear. The aliens began to lose control of their own ships. Doors locked. Lights shut off. Maps disappeared. One alien engineer screamed, "They're inside our systems." In the middle of all this, a small group of humans formed a network. No fancy tech, just radios, old phones, and secret codes. Soldiers, doctors, children, retired workers, all sharing information, all fighting back. One message spread everywhere. "We are Earth. We do not kneel." In a desert, a group of engineers turned an old satellite dish into a jammer. It blocked alien signals for hundreds of miles. In the mountains, climbers tracked a scout team using nothing but ropes, snow, and a broken radio. The aliens tried to send more troops, but even their strongest warriors couldn't move freely. The humans didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like survivors. Dirty, fast, creative. They hid in forests. They moved through sewers. They sent fake messages to confuse the aliens. One alien commander shouted, "Where are their armies? Where is their chain of command?" But there was none. The Earth had no single leader now. It had millions. Each one ready to resist. One young girl used a mirror to send a light signal from her window. That signal helped an entire neighborhood escape capture. In another city, a blind man led alien soldiers into a trap using only sound and memory. The aliens couldn't believe it. "They're not just fighting us," one said. "They're outsmarting us." Their maps became useless. Their tech stopped working. Their fear began to grow. "How can a planet with no defense defeat us?" one officer asked. The answer came from one of their own, the scientist who had studied human history. He stood before the alien council and said, "You think weapons are strength. But these humans, they fight with heart, with mind, with unity. They don't need orders. They don't need machines. They are the defense." On every screen in the mothership, messages appeared, not from armies, but from regular people. Farmers, builders, cooks, children. Each one saying the same thing. "You may be stronger, but we are human." The mothership's alarms rang again. Another system offline. Another base lost. Another scout missing. The invasion had not just failed. It had turned into a nightmare. And Earth was only getting started. The alien mothership prepared for a final strike. They had lost too many scouts, too many outposts. Their systems were damaged. Their maps were wrong. But the commander still believed one large attack could crush Earth. He ordered the main weapon to charge. A huge beam of energy began to build above the planet. Cities would burn, forests would fall. "They will kneel," he said. But deep below, Earth had already moved. Hackers from across the globe, working with no sleep, had cracked into the alien code. They found the weapon controls, but it was locked. Only one thing could stop the beam now: a signal from inside the alien system. In a small room, an old war veteran sat in a wheelchair, staring at a cracked screen. His hands were slow, but his mind was sharp. He had seen real war. He had lost friends. He had nothing left to fear. A team of young programmers connected his old military chip into the system. With one shaky hand, he typed in a simple line of code. Then he whispered, "Let's show them what Earth really is." At that moment, across the alien network, the systems began to fail. The weapon shut down. Lights exploded. Screens turned black. And then, music. Human music. Loud, powerful, emotional. Old war songs, rock and roll, voices shouting freedom. It played through every alien ship, every helmet, every base. The aliens covered their ears. They didn't understand the words, but they felt the meaning. Rage, hope, pain, unity. One alien dropped to his knees and said, "They fight with soul." The commander screamed, "Cut the feed." But it was too late. The humans had taken over everything. On the ground, people marched together. Strangers, friends, old enemies, all standing side by side. No one ordered them. They just moved, like one giant heartbeat. In the sky, alien ships began to fall. Not from weapons, from fear. Fear of a species that refused to die. A species that had nothing, and still stood tall. The commander looked at Earth one last time and whispered, "We thought they were broken." But the great alien mothership, broken and silent, drifted away from Earth. Its lights were dim. Its weapons were useless. The aliens did not speak. They did not sing victory songs. They had nothing to celebrate. Their mission had failed, but it was more than just defeat. It was something deeper, something they had never felt before: respect. One young alien officer sat in his chamber, writing a final report for his home planet. He had come to Earth thinking it was weak. Now he wrote with shaking hands, "Earth is not weak. Earth is a storm hidden in silence. Its people are not trained in war, but they are born from struggle. They bleed and fall, but they rise again. They do not wait for orders. They fight from the heart. They stand even when they are broken. And when they stand together, no force in the galaxy can push them down. Earth is never truly defenseless, because humanity never gives up." That message was sent to every corner of the alien empire. Other warships received it. Other commanders read it. And slowly, fear began to grow. Not fear of Earth's weapons, but fear of Earth's spirit. On the planet below, people returned to their lives. The cities healed. The sky was quiet again. But something had changed. People smiled at strangers. They helped each other. They remembered what they had done together. In a field far from the city, a young boy walked through the grass. He saw something shiny and bent down. It was an alien helmet, cracked and empty. He picked it up and looked at the stars. Then he smiled. Behind him, his father called out, "Time to come home." The boy ran back, helmet in hand, never looking back. And far above, in the dark sky, the stars watched in silence. The message had been sent. Earth was not to be taken. Earth was not to be controlled. Because Earth is human. And that was enough.